Welcome to English Avenue YouTube, the channel to learn English the easy way. Let's start. Imagine this. A man who dedicated his life to making people laugh. An entertainer who played the role of a fictional president on television, suddenly becoming the actual leader of a nation. It sounds like something out of a movie, doesn't it? But this is not a work of fiction. This is the true story of Volodymyr Zelenskyy, a man whose journey is one of the most extraordinary political transformations in modern history. He went from being a comedian, someone who brought joy to millions through his performances, to leading a nation through one of its darkest and most challenging times. How does someone with no political experience rise to power? How does an entertainer take on one of the most powerful figures in the world? And most importantly, what valuable lessons can we take from his story? This is not just a biography. This is a tale of resilience, courage, and unwavering belief in oneself, even when the odds are stacked against you. Get ready, because this is a story that will not only inspire you, but will also show you that anything is possible when you refuse to give up. On January 25, 1978, in the heart of what was then the Soviet Union, a baby boy was born in an industrial city called Kryvyi Rih, which is now part of Ukraine. His parents, Alexander and Rima Zelenskyy, named him Volodymyr. Kryvyi Rih was not a city of grandeur or affluence. It was a place of factories, working-class people, and harsh winters. Life there was not one of luxury, but for young Volodymyr, it was home. He was born into a Jewish family at a time when being Jewish in the Soviet Union meant facing discrimination and limited opportunities. However, his parents never allowed these obstacles to define their son's future. His father, Alexander Zelenskyy, was a man of great intellect. He worked as a professor and a scientist specializing in cybernetics, a field dedicated to the study of computer systems and automation. He was strict, disciplined, and had high expectations for his son. His mother, Rima, was an engineer, a respected profession, especially for women in that era. She was nurturing and dedicated to ensuring her son had the best possible upbringing. In their household, education was not an option. It was the most important aspect of life. In the Soviet Union, education was seen as the key to a stable and prosperous future, and Alexander and Rima were determined that their son would excel academically. From a young age, Volodymyr was bursting with energy and curiosity. He was not just a child who memorized facts from textbooks. He was a boy who asked endless questions about the world. While his father was firm about his studies, it was clear that Volodymyr had an innate gift. He could make people laugh. Whether it was through funny expressions, witty remarks, or acting out amusing scenarios, he had a natural ability to entertain. At home, he performed for his family. At school, he made his classmates and even his teachers smile, despite the serious nature of Soviet education. During his early childhood, an unexpected opportunity arose. His father received a job offer in Mongolia, and the entire family relocated. The transition was not easy. Everything was different: the language, the culture, the way of life. But Volodymyr quickly adapted, observing everything around him and learning how to connect with people despite linguistic and cultural barriers. He realized something profound. Humor is a universal language. You don't need to speak the same dialect to make someone laugh. After a few years, the Zelenskyy family returned to Kryvyi Rih, and Volodymyr resumed his education. As he grew older, his passion for performing only intensified. He joined theater groups, participated in school plays, and thrived in front of an audience. Unlike many who feared public speaking, he thrived in the spotlight, relishing every moment he spent entertaining others. However, despite his talent, school remained a challenge. The Soviet education system was rigid, emphasizing memorization, mathematics, and science while discouraging creativity. His father wanted him to pursue a career in engineering or science, just as he had. But Volodymyr's heart was elsewhere. At the age of 16, fate presented him with an opportunity that would change his life forever. He was invited to join a local comedy group that participated in KVN, a well-known and prestigious comedy competition in the Soviet Union. KVN, or Club of the Funny and Inventive People, was one of the most watched entertainment shows on television. Winning KVN could make a person famous overnight. For Volodymyr, this was the moment he had been waiting for. However, there was one major obstacle. His father was against it. Alexander Zelenskyy saw comedy as an unserious pursuit, a mere hobby that could never be a viable career. He wanted his son to focus on law or economics, fields with stability and prestige. But Volodymyr was undeterred. He knew that comedy was not just about making people laugh. It was his passion, his calling. So he made a bold decision. He joined the KVN team in secret. His first performance was a resounding success. The audience loved him, and his natural charisma and quick wit made him an instant favorite. His team, known as Kvartal 95, began winning competition after competition, eventually performing on national television. Volodymyr's father eventually discovered his secret. At first he was disappointed, but when he saw his son's undeniable talent and the joy he brought to audiences, he finally accepted it. Little did anyone know that this young comedian was destined for something far greater than entertainment. His career skyrocketed. Kvartal 95 became one of the most successful comedy groups in Ukraine and Russia, and Volodymyr became a household name. But he was not content with just performing. He wanted to revolutionize entertainment. In 2003, at the age of 25, he co-founded his own production company, Kvartal 95, named after the neighborhood where he grew up. The company produced television shows, movies, and comedy specials, many of which contained sharp political satire. While other comedians played it safe, Volodymyr and his team boldly tackled corruption, government failures, and social injustices through humor. Audiences loved it, but politicians were not amused. By 2015, Volodymyr Zelenskyy was one of Ukraine's biggest television stars. Then, he did something nobody expected. He created a TV show called Servant of the People. The plot? A high school teacher accidentally becomes the president of Ukraine after his passionate speech against corruption goes viral. It was a satirical fantasy, but it resonated deeply with the people. They were tired of career politicians making empty promises. They wanted someone real, someone they could trust. And soon, something unbelievable happened. In 2018, amidst political turmoil, whispers began spreading. What if Volodymyr Zelenskyy, the comedian from Servant of the People, actually ran for president? At first, people thought it was a joke. But in December 2018, Zelenskyy made a shocking announcement. He was running for president of Ukraine. The world was in disbelief. Could a comedian really lead a nation? Could someone with no political experience take on career politicians and win? But the people believed in him. They had seen him speak the truth through comedy for years. He was not just an entertainer anymore. He was a symbol of change. And against all odds, on April 21, 2019, Volodymyr Zelenskyy won the election in a landslide victory, securing 73% of the votes. The comedian had defeated the billionaire politician. The world was stunned. But as he stepped into office, he knew the real challenge was only just beginning.